So, as you know, I enjoy sharing my journey with you. So, I'm sharing my journey with you right now. Only to, shine some light on some situations and possibly help other people out too. Because I know we not going through this alone. And maybe, what I'm offering through my experience, it will be useful to you, to whoever may need this message or, may need to hear this recording. So, as of lately, I have been being triggered emotionally, and it's been more annoying than ever because, when you get to a point where you're tired. And when that patience starts to run thin, then it's like war. It can end in war a lot because, when your spirit is tired, you're tired. And I've been being tested it in several areas of my life. One huge thing for me is emotions. I am a very emotional person at times. I can be very emotional and impulsive. And sometimes I've always allowed my emotions to get the best of me. Even as a child, I used to cry. When my feelings was hurt. When somebody said something, I would cry. I had a 7th grade teacher, and I should put him on blast because he was something else. Every time he said something mean to me or try to criticize me and call me out, he used to purposely pick on me. But every time he did that, and I had enough, I was crying. And he'd be like, oh, there goes Miss Harden crying again. Look at her, everybody. Everybody turn and look at Miss Harden. He used to put me out there for real. So I guess I kind of like attached a negative, some type of negative programming to being emotional and being mocked about being so emotional. But that's one way of looking at it. I can also look at it as because of my emotions, not being able to handle certain emotions and letting my emotions get the best of me. Maybe that's something that needs to be checked, maybe because emotions are very powerful, very, very powerful. When you are, okay, first let me back up. Your emotions is what is the driving force behind any type of manifestation. And you can either build or destroy. You could be so angry that you just like tear up everything that you have created for yourself, or you can invest yourself into more positive emotions, being less negatively emotional, being less emotional, being able to be still and just create. And as I've shared before, I know I'm in a phase of mastery, self-mastery. Like I'm probably like, because I'm getting it like every day, certain epiphanies come to me about myself, and looking at things from a different perspective so I can change my world, so I can do things differently. Because when you do the same thing over and over and over and over again and expecting the same results, that is the definition of insanity. And I am not insane. I am very much so sane and stable. So, and it's, no coincidence. Like, this year I am 33, which is a master number. So I'm very grateful for the opportunities to master myself and to be the master manifester. So I've been being tested this week. Well, as of lately, very intensely. And, I've been trying to build, but because of allowing emotional things getting in the way, it's just like, okay, scratch, back to square one. And I'm looking at myself. I'm aware of certain patterns. When you start noticing patterns in your life, that's an opportunity, especially if you notice it, that's an opportunity for you to break that pattern and grow. Like, why does this keep happening? What is it? What is it about this certain situation that keeps happening, and why does it keep resulting the same way? And got to figure that out. And if I wouldn't say that for everyone as far as emotions, but more than likely it's because of some type of emotional stuff, that patterns aren't being broken. So I'm sharing this opportunity, my opportunity to break this cycle of being triggered and finally mastering my emotions. So the emotional thing, especially when it's like destructive, like emotions are able to go either way. And typically when being triggered, triggering is to bring out those shadow aspects of yourself, so you know that it's there. So I'm learning that, like, I have to respond differently. And one thing about myself, what I've noticed, that always send me in defense mode. It always, creates arguments or tensions or, separations from anyone. Not just, romantic relationships, but any type of disagreement. It's because of me putting myself in the position to prove myself. Like, I always feel like, now me realizing, I always feel like I have to prove myself to someone to be right. And today it just finally hit me, like, I don't have to prove myself to anybody. Why am I arguing with this person to just get my point across? Well, why am I proving myself to this person? If anything, I need to prove myself to myself. Prove me to me. Because as I've shared from the last memoir, about my commitment, like, even my commitment to myself isn't 100. Like, I haven't always shown up for myself. I want to be a vegan, but for whatever reason, like, my commitment is not there. It was there for, well, vegan, vegetarian. Like, my commitment, I guess, as a vegan has never been long, but the longest that I've been vegetarian, mostly vegan, was like a year, close to a year. That's it. So, like, I've failed myself, I wouldn't necessarily fail myself, but I've disappointed myself. And I haven't reached my goal, my vision for myself, So, that's one way that I can start proving to me that I could do it. Like, I've shared that, like, my commitment to myself, improving myself to me, is not there at all. And I do see the changes within myself. Like, the beginning, as we all know, is always good. It can always start off good. It always starts off good. But, like, how long am I going to do this? How long is it going to take, or, this is just getting boring, or this is getting hard, When the hard gets going, some people just tend to quit. And that commitment isn't as strong as one may have thought, even, I wouldn't say it wasn't there, but it wasn't as strong, because you can always recommit yourself. And that's the beautiful grace of it all. You can always recommit yourself to carrying out that vision. But at some point, a commitment, a real true commitment, will have to be made to carry this plan out, no matter what. So I'm realizing this about myself, and this is another degree of setting myself free. Proving myself to people, proving myself, I just, I give up with that. I've, just me sharing, feel like I had to prove myself in my business, proving myself that I am who I say I am, wanting people's approval to validate me. I'm looking for others' validation, and I'm realizing that's not necessary. I validate myself. I really have to, work on that. I am working on that. Not looking for anyone's approval, or, wanting to be right. I don't know. I'm still kind of in this thought of what can I do differently? Well, what kind of changes can I make to be a master manifester of my reality, especially when it comes to finances? Because I feel at this particular time in my life, finances have become a major issue, and I have a lot of deadlines to meet, a lot of deadlines to meet when it comes to financial obligations. We're down to the wire. But I know everything happens in divine timing. And I know by me uncovering these truths about myself, I'm setting myself free to be this master manifester who manifests money at the snap of her fingers. I've noticed one thing about myself: when I'm focused, it's effortlessly. I mean, it happens effortlessly through my own gifts and talents. That's big picture plan. Being my own person. So, they didn't necessarily meet financial obligations, and then it was time. If I felt like it was still time, like I had time at any given time, I'll be there. But now it's like, okay, I'm sweating bullets because I have, like I said, financial obligations, and things still aren't clicking into place for me like I believe they should. And once again, like, it's like proving to other folks, like, I could do this. So maybe I need to change my change my focus and proving to myself that this can be done, because me knowing who I am and only proving it to myself that I can. Because obviously I don't believe in myself. Obviously I don't believe that it could change with the snap of my fingers, because it hasn't happened yet. And my outer circumstances are revealing this to me, especially when it comes to finances. I have, a certain individual in my ear saying, yeah, I believe in God, and I believe it, this is gonna happen, and I'm gonna be financially straight, and it's gonna happen through you. I'm gonna be blessed through you. Pressure. And I have other voices in my ear. We have certain obligations to meet at a certain time, and we've been working on these certain obligations for so long, and it's still not happening. And you should do this, and you don't do that, But all the while, I'm believing that, at any given time, I'm a master manifester. I believe in manifesting things. I believe at any given time, the circumstance could change. So, remaining optimistic. But now it's like crunch time, and it still hasn't happened. So, I have people in situations that I feel like I have to prove myself to. But I guess I have to kind of change that perspective of not necessarily doing it for other people, but doing it for myself. Only because I know I deserve it, especially when it comes to financial. So it's been like a lot of triggers. It's been a lot of triggers, and, in the moment, I don't see clearly that it is serving that purpose of like, hey, look at this situation. This is something that you're attracting. I don't look at it like that. I'm like in the heat of the moment. And that's when I say about the emotional stuff. Sometimes, I get in my emotions. So now I'm next time, because I'm going to be triggered. I'm going to be tested until it's like fully out my system. Next time, I'm going to look at the situation like, hey, okay, whatever, and then refocus on what really matters, and not really engage in emotional situations, because I'm realizing like a lot of time has been wasted on emotional things in my life. Having to deal with that, or this, and like now, instead of me being all in my emotions, I'm being constructive with my energy, if I may say so. Being very constructive. I'm sharing. I'm investing my time into something that I enjoy. I actually enjoy doing these recordings and being able to share in this way. I feel like I'm very insightful. And I enjoy it. And I enjoy sharing my life. I do. Because I know it may help someone. Like today, ironically, y'all want to know something? About the commitment thing that I was talking about in the last memoir. A young lady came to me today. I asked her, what was she had just graduated high school. I asked her, what was she going to school for? Because she was going to college. I asked, are you going to college? She said, yeah. So I was like, what are you going to school for? And she said, to be a veterinary, however you say it, vet or tech. And I'm like, okay, so is that ultimately what you want to do? She said, no, I want to be, the pet doctor. The veterinarian. There you go. And I said, so why aren't you doing that? She was like, because she wasn't sure exactly what she wanted to do. And I was like, that's understandable, but can I share something with you? And then I told her about my story of thinking that MA was the stepping stone, and now how it's like, because I didn't follow my first choice of wanting to be a doctor, it's like I created blocks for myself, and I shared it in a more layman term. I didn't really speak on the spiritual aspect about, creating blocks, but I told her, like, now I can't go to school because I'm not offered Pell Grants, because I've been in school so long and I've been so indecisive about what I want to go to school for, which is true. So, she said she's a very indecisive person. I was like, well, I encourage you to really, reconsider. Don't play yourself short. It's a long time, but it's going to be so worth it. So, I had that opportunity to share that after, sharing with you guys that day. So, yeah, I'm just like here to share. And plus, I like hearing myself talk sometimes. Not really. Like, I rarely go back and listen to videos because I'm like, ugh, why do I sound like that? I sound nasally. I do. Like, I don't like listening to myself. I'm weird. But sometimes I do. And when I do, I'm like, you retarded, girl. What is wrong with you? Why are you such a retard? All right. So that is all, I think. Not letting your emotions get to you, and don't waste your time on emotional things. And the crazy thing is, with that, my twin has said that from the very beginning, and I didn't understand. What you mean? I'm not wasting my time emotionally. Now I get it. Like, I have no time to waste in emotions right now because I'm building. Like, I finally get it thanks to twin. I get it. Don't waste my time on emotional stuff, because those emotions can be spent elsewhere, can be better used elsewhere to build. So that is all. Yeah, good night.